So Trump goes and hires Musk, again with the top secret security clearance. Nobody can quibble with his intelligence. You know, the guy's as smart as Einstein's cousin. He's a very successful businessman. Some say he's the richest guy in the world. And he's doing the auditing. And man, he's finding a lot of stuff. I call it spending porn. He found that USAID gave money to a transgender clinic in India. I didn't know that. I bet you the American people didn't know that. He found that the USAID gave $1.5 million to a Serbian LGBTQ group called Grupa Izladaji. I probably mispronounced that, my apologies.
On the west side, America right now comes to Tanzania, comes to Ghana, comes to Zambia with 16 million. And guess what? 16 million only for Zambia. The 16 million, ask me, what is it for?
What is it for?
For human rights. Across the river, China and Russia coming to South Africa. Ask me for what?
For what?
For a military training.
Wow.
And skills sharing of security. So the Americans are more interested in a transgender, homosexual agenda around the world. They will invest their money and give you money to protect human rights. Russia and China are coming with weapons and militarization strategies so that we can protect ourselves. So I want to say this very loud and clear to the Americans. Continue on your transgender agenda. Stay there. Leave us to do politics.
The USAID gave $1.5 million to promote LGBT advocacy in Jamaica. He found that we gave $2 million, USAID did, for sex changes in Guatemala. Some of our foreign aid is going to Yemen, Afghanistan, Syria.
Images of Taliban now in complete control of armories of the Afghanistan National Army. So Taliban now have access to, of course, once again, to made in America military equipment after their takeover. The assault rifles. Look at these images. Assault rifles, night vision devices, communication equipment, bulletproof jackets and helmets, armored personal vehicles, unmanned aerial vehicles, and helicopters, including...
Generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." I said, "We're going to war with Iraq? Why?" He said, "I don't know."
If you take out Saddam, I guarantee you.
So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper. He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today. And he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
The USAID has given millions of dollars to, quote, organizations in Gaza controlled by Hamas. Why aren't my colleagues talking about that? Recipients of the money they found have, quote, called for their lands to be cleansed from the impurity of Jews.
Of funneling Qatari money to Hamas by the Israeli government was mentioned in public by Saudi Arabia's former intelligence chief in an address on October 20th. His remarks came after Hamas terrorists on October 7th butchered over 1,000 Israelis and took over 200 hostage. His statement surprised many, as people couldn't make sense of the contradiction. Why would Israel funnel funds to Hamas in the first place? Well, the answer is, if Israel didn't directly create a Frankenstein's monster, it for sure helped nourish it. And it was all done in a bid to thwart creation of a Palestinian state.
Many of my colleagues are upset. They're really mad at Mr. Musk. Hell, I think we ought to give him a medal. All he's doing is what President Trump said.
The Trump administration is moving this country very aggressively into an authoritarian society where the rule of law and our Constitution are being ignored and undermined in order to give more power to the White House and the billionaires who now control our government.
They're very, very, very upset at President Trump. And they're very, very, very upset at Elon Musk.